Okay, hi guys. I wanted to make a little change to Radiant. So right now the effects scripts, they have some local variables just for these effects, and you can't really change them outside of the script. For example, if we go to the PWM, pulse width modulation, right now the duty cycle, and let me preview this actually. Right now the duty cycle is 30%, as you can see here. And if we change this, for example, to 10%, we restart the effect. Now you see it's smaller, so these change individual, parameters for the effect, and the same for the sign. But I think it would be nice if we could actually, in the cue list, in one of these recipes, we could put the options in here, something like options. And let me think, actually it shouldn't be in the fixture collection. Yeah, so in the content, maybe in effect, we would do something like this. Effect. And then here we have options. And there we could say, for PW, well, let me see actually, this is the sign. So if we get these, and by the way, a recipe is just a combination of a collection of fixtures together with an effect. So for example, this group 1 is these spots in the back that are facing downward, and they have the effect 1, which is the dimmer. They are defined here. So slot 1, slot 2. So it would be nice if we could do something like this maybe. And I'm not even sure if we can just, well, that's actually a good thing to check. Does Emalua have a SERDI? It does. Okay, that's cool. We're gonna need that because we want to save these as Lua variables. So we also implement a Lua variable, or like user data struct or trait for, a parameter, for example. And if one of these parameters is would be an option, you would want to be able to put it in here. So that's pretty nice. Okay, so if we have these options in here, for example, and maybe let's also add them in here. Maybe we can just copy the content over. And this is for the, yeah, these are the washes. Sure. We use effect 2, and that's the PWM effect. We can copy over these parameters. Maybe parameters is even a nicer name for options. No, it's not, because parameters are like dimmer and stuff for fixtures. Yeah, like that. Mess that up. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, so now we have these options. And I'm actually pretty curious. Like, we can't, well, maybe actually we can do this. And it won't mess everything up, right? Ooh, oh yeah, it will, actually. Okay, maybe we commit the, yeah, we commit, yeah, split. We commit this change just, ooh, I made a mistake there. Wait, let me, let's undo that. Yeah, and now we can split. We can add these, like this is the change, yeah. Add options. All right. So we need to change how this effect content is structured. And it's not that big of a change. So if we go to the recipe content, like right now it's an object reference, we can make this the effect, and the options will be a hash map of string and mlua value. I think just value, right? Okay, maybe serializable value. Okay. I thought that the feature on mlua, we have enabled it now, right? Yeah. So I would think that would make that work, but actually it doesn't. We might have to look this up. Serialization support to mlua types. Yeah, okay, I get that, but Lua value is not serializable. What? I could have sworn this would have worked. Well, okay, let's actually check in the repo itself. Can we go to... I'm kind of confused. Yeah. Okay, do we have anything else? Maybe with documentation? Doesn't look like it. Maybe an example? Sorry, okay. So we create comes a car. So JSON, what are we serializing? We are serializing I'm guessing a car. No, wait. Create user data. Okay. Well, if that's the case, we need to use a custom value in here. Maybe we could use a JSON value? Or like 30 file? No, I don't like that either. Maybe we just have to make it an option. So effect option value. Sure. Well, option, I have to... Okay, so here I'm saying options, and in here I'm saying options. Okay. Cool. Yeah, okay, if we create this, go to an effects, And actually, yeah, it should be in here, right? Yeah. Well, we can copy these. And let's see what Lua types. Well, okay. We can do that like this actually. That's quite a lot. But all we really care about are these. Or maybe table. Hello table, yeah. We can copy these and then actually what about that factor? Oh, that's for Lua U. No, we don't need that. What's going on? Okay. And then here we can say integer. Let's make it an i3 for 40 64 and a float 64. This table. Let's make it a hash map of string and, well, yeah, string. Should be value, shouldn't it? Well, let's ignore the table for now. So we have these effects options, option values. And these should be so these are going to serialize in a bad way. Untagged might work. Ooh, that's actually pretty cool. We can use that in some other things because, well, look, well, this is fine. This is fine. This is kind of verbose. Like group, blah blah blah. We could maybe just put this in. Would be cool. So we have these options, and it will get them automatically. It should at least. What happens if we try to run now? Well, we have an error still. Effects ref, yeah, no, that's okay. Effect, well, let's just call that effect. Then we need to do something with the options. Where do we create the... Right, we call this, then we have to say options 2, maybe make that the first parameter. Here we get the options hash, and we should make this a type alias maybe. And let's just debug with options. Now we still have some other errors. Oh yeah. Well, these are optional, I guess. Oh, that's a good question, actually. Maybe we can't... Well, okay, let's just try to pass this as this. I'm not sure if we can actually use the referenced values in or convert those to Lua. I'm guessing not. We'll probably have to clone, but we'll see. Yeah, whoa, hey. Okay, I didn't expect it to work first try. Okay, cool. Let's make this a commit. Yeah, and we'll call this load options into effect runner. Okay, so now where do we create the context? We create the context down there. So we'll pass the options into that, and I'm guessing, yeah, we'll have to make that owned, but that's fine. Then these time things, yeah, we can add it under here, options. Effects option value. Cool. Go to the compositor. We'll make this clone. And now in on update context, when we create the Lua version, we have to say, maybe let's do it like this, and we'll say options. This dot options. And I'm quite curious actually what happens. Oh, oh, yeah. Well, okay. So we have one problem. Bro. Oh, yeah, that's correct. Well, I don't... Okay, that was stupid. Yeah. So we have to import Lua user data for effect option value. And we'll... Yeah, and this is the real question. Like, how do we want to expose those options? That's what we have to think about now, because do we want it to be context or local speed context at options? What would YapG say? The speed. Okay, so let's just try four. Sorry, I have to think for a moment, because do we need to add methods? How do we access? Oh, of course, yeah, you get it in a callback. So here we can say, oh, but that's so stupid. What happens on the register? Okay. Yeah, so my problem is we need to use self to get all of the fields, but it looks like we can't right now. But maybe what we could do is we can implement into Lua. No, that's not, yeah, that's what I want. And then we can say, well, self. Match self. And all of these we can convert into values. And this is mlua value nil. This can fill it in, that's cool. That into, sure, okay. Yeah, into Lua. Yeah, oh yeah, Lua. Oh, Jesus Christ. Alright. Oh, we could do this. Oh, and then we can... Well, okay, that one has to still be that, but these, we can just say... Feed it into... Lua. With Lua. Yeah, look at that. Okay, so now if we run this... Yeah, look at that, it runs, that's cool. And can we get... Well, maybe we just look up... print context.options. Does it exist? Yeah, it's a table, sure. So speed. Hey, that was pretty easy actually. I thought it was going to be a lot harder to implement. That's fine. So now we can say all of these equals context.options dot well, yeah, dot these or the default value. Then this duty cycle will change to, well, 25 and this width and the base to 0 and stuff, just the defaults. And now this should work. And now we can change this to this style. Cool. And actually the speed of these, yeah, these are fine. Now I'm curious, let's see. Hey, how about it? That's pretty cool. So if we change, well, okay, so the default PWM speed is 1, and we go into the queue list. If we change this to 2, that should update. Yeah, if we remove it, it defaults to 2. And if we add something that's not used, or maybe like an integer, and the string, and null, and boolean. Yeah, works perfectly. That's quite nice. Okay, use option, well, pass effect options to on update context in Lua. I think it's fine like this. Okay, that was easier than I thought it would be, so that's always nice. Okay, thanks for watching.